Emily works as a call center operator for a phone service operator. She does not genuinely like the job, as it is boring to talk to people every day. It does not provide any room for excitement or growth, and the pay is small. After her shift today, Emily hurries to the grocery store to purchase some groceries for the month. She is excited because she is expecting a new roommate today. She barely receives enough salary to take care of her personal needs, so the extra income from the rent would help. Moreover, having a new face around would help cure her boredom. She's not good at making friends. While picking up items from the store, her phone rings. It's her mom. She lets out a huge breath and picks up the call. Her mom, as usual, complains about everything: her husband, her mother's health, and most especially Emily's habit of not checking up on her or her grandmother. Emily has had enough, so she fakes she's in the elevator and then she cannot hear her mom and ends the call. When she arrives home, the supposed roommate hasn't come yet, so she brings out a plastic wrap and wraps it around her belly. She had watched a video earlier in the day that wrapping the belly with plastic could help achieve a flat look. There's a knock at the door, and she opens it to find a young black man with spectacles and full hair greeting her. He says he saw an advert for the room. She thinks he's mistaken since she received a text from Camille. He smiles and says that's his name. People often mistake the name for a female name. She apologizes to him and tells him she wants a female flatmate, not a male. He smiles and says he doesn't mind having her as a flatmate. The next scene shows Emily and Camille in the common room getting to know each other. He tells her he teaches and also he is about to earn his bachelor's degree. He then asks her what she does and she says she is a call service operator. Emily is eager to know what his love life is. While opening a bottle of beer, he smiles mischievously and says he handles his business and isn't a noisy roommate or an invasive one. She smiles and says she prefers to be intimate with her prospective boyfriends and see where it leads. This amuses him. He thinks he likes her already. He pulls her to him and they both kiss passionately and get intimate on the couch.
We got time, honey, to make this whatever we want. See the days running, stretching out just for us. Fill them all with our dreams, miles gone and pretty things. The prettiest of all is your heart. Hold my breath, pinch my skin. Can't believe we're living it. Where I wanna be is where you are.
For the past 2 weeks, Camille has been living with her as a flatmate, and she is growing to like and desire him a lot. They are having constant intimacy every day. She feels a connection to him, but to her surprise today, he tells her he doesn't want to be intimate with her anymore. This is a huge surprise to her as she feels what they have is mutually enjoyable. Camille finishes class for the day and starts chatting with his colleague Stephanie. He feels incredibly attracted to her and they have a discussion after class. She seems to like him too. He didn't know Emily would react to his request for them to stop being intimate so strongly. She limits the way she converses with him and lays down new rules. No more walking around unclothed, and he must participate in house cleaning. He consents to these rules. Camille knows that when it comes to women he is intimate with, he gets bored easily and his interest begins to wane. His attention span is short. He is still mourning the demise of his mother, so cannot be in a committed relationship, at least not now. Emily isn't having a great day. Things aren't going according to plan. While at work, she receives a summons to the manager's office, who is visibly angry at her inappropriate behavior towards a client. Emily has violated the organization's rules and regulations previously. She's known for being unenthusiastic and carefree at work. A few weeks ago, she received a sanction for discussing and giving weight loss tips to a client while on active duty. The recorded conversation between her and the client is being played to her hearing. 2 days ago, she was caught discussing birth control pills with another subscriber. Emily is handed a dismissal letter, as she has already been sanctioned before. She is at a loss for what to do. Feeling dejected, Emily calls her elder sister to rant, who tells her she has relational issues and news to fix herself. For the past few days, Emily has been unmotivated to get out of her room after losing her job. She spends all her days indoors watching television shows. She is watching a television series on her laptop when Camille comes in to inform her that he is having a guest over, and if she doesn't mind, she should leave the house for a few hours to provide them with some privacy. Emily isn't happy with this but still agrees. She picks up her bag and decides to go to a club. On her way to the club, her mom's text comes in reminding her to visit her grandmother at the hospital. This makes her feel bad. The apartment she's living in is owned by her grandma, and she hasn't made time to see her since she fell ill. When she arrives at the club, she blends into the frenzy of the crowd when someone offers her a After consuming it, she is in the euphoria of the moment. She makes it to her apartment to find her flatmate with the female guest, both unclad. She's clearly intoxicated as Camille wraps a blanket over her. He isn't happy she's back so soon. Emily is heartbroken by this. She goes to the bathroom and lays in the bathtub and calls her sister again, who's clearly not interested in her lamentations and woes. Camille is visiting his family today. It's been almost a month since he visited his father and sister after the demise of his mom. Being here brings back all the old memories. As he walks into the room, his father is clearly excited to have him around. They are preparing to have lunch, so he joins them. His father announces his sister just had her first stand-up comedy show, which went well, and he's so proud of her. He knows his dad is over-complimenting as his sister stutters when she speaks. His dad asks what he thinks of it, and he responds by saying he thinks it's a waste of time. This greatly annoys his sister Eponine, who stomps out of the room. He doesn't know what he said wrong. His dad reprimands him, saying as a teacher, he should learn to give less criticism and more encouragement. While Camille is at his dad's house, Emily is home with Stephanie, Camille's new girlfriend. This triggers Emily as she has fallen in love with him and feels bad her feelings are unrequited. At first, she thinks Stephanie is just a one-night stand, but it seems not to be so as Stephanie is spending half of the week at their house. She decides to speak to her concerning the situation. She goes to the kitchen and calls the attention of Stephanie. She then tells her since she stays at their house, she should pay half the rent. She goes on to say Camille's other girlfriends pay their own rent. Emily tells her of the other girl Mathilda that comes whenever she isn't around. Stephanie is irritated by this suggestion and knows Emily is saying this to spite her. She warns her never to speak to her again. Camille is upset with Emily over what she said to Stephanie, and he is irritated by her jealousy. He tells her that he could meet a girl who is beautiful and intelligent, but if he isn't violently turned on by her, he loses interest fast. Emily is broken by this. She is now aware that he no longer finds her attractive. The next day, Camille packs his things and tells her that he is leaving her apartment because he is tired of her attitude anytime he brings home a partner. He acknowledges that he knows she has feelings for him, but he's sorry he doesn't feel the same. Amber Sweet is an online intimate worker who provides intimate services according to her subscribers' preferences. She takes on different personalities to satisfy the needs of her clients, all done virtually. Today is one of her clients' birthdays. As always, she wears a blonde wig and revealing lingerie and sings a happy birthday song to him. Then, she proceeds to perform an intimate act on herself to please him. Nora is a 33-year-old student who is currently in her second year of studying law as an undergraduate student at the same university as Camille. She is one of the oldest in her class, and this makes her feel a little insecure. She also sucks at making new acquaintances. She finds it difficult to relate with her younger classmates. She receives an invite by a classmate to attend a college party. The venue is at the club, and she is determined to break out of her shell and enjoy life as a college student. She impulsively buys a blonde wig to give her a fierce look. While at the party, two male students see her dancing and assume she's Amber Sweet. They are convinced that the cam girl who sells intimate videos is Nora, so they decide to approach her. Nora is surprised when the guy says he is a fan of hers and asks for a selfie with her, which she happily accepts but does not understand the reason yet. While on the train back home, Nora logs into social media and is shocked to see her picture in a collage mixed as Amber Sweet. There are so many comments alleging Nora is Amber Sweet and sells intimacy for money. She is shocked and decides to research the cam girl she's alleged to be, and she can see they truly share facial similarities. She's heartbroken at this coincidence. The next day, while presenting a topic in class, she can hear giggling and people watching their phones. Someone has broadcasted illicit videos of Amber Sweet with her face by the side. 1 month after Camille packed out of the apartment, Emily gets a job as a waiter in a restaurant. She is moving on with her life. She isn't looking for commitment or a boyfriend. She's on dating sites hooking up with men within her specifications. At the close of work, Camille calls her and sets up a dinner date, which she accepts. For a month, she deals with the case of mistaken identity. She happens to be the victim of bullying because of her close resemblance to an adult content webcam maker and the blonde wig she had bought impulsively. Nora is picking up what's left of her battered self-esteem to hunt for a job that she dropped out due to the incessant bullying. Nora has multiple years of experience in marketing and sales of real estate, thanks to her ex-husband, so she is excited when she comes across a vacancy post for the position of a real estate sales manager. As she walks into the office, a man runs up to her and she introduces herself. He is the one to interview her. She begins to talk about her years of experience and expertise with terminologies. It dawns on her that her interviewer has no clue about real estate. Camille, however, confesses at the end of the interview that he's standing in for a friend who's the owner of the firm. She is offered the job, but is uncomfortable with how Camille stares and ogles her. At the close of work, she confronts him about his inappropriate behavior. She can see the embarrassment it causes him. Nora is at home. She flashes back to the incident that happened earlier in the day. After seeing a client, one of her classmates approaches her and feigns surprise at seeing her after a long time. Nora cannot recall the face, but as soon as the lady leaves, she can hear her mocking her to the man she is with. All the past hurt floods back and Nora goes after her, punching her so hard on the face. She smiles as she remembers the shock on passerby faces. She may be timid, but she is also capable of defending herself against bullies. Nora walks to her drawer and pulls out the wig. The wig is the reason for the misunderstanding in the first place. She picked it up and wore it. She feels the urge to chat up Ambersweet, the girl, and begins to see her as her alter ego. She logs into the website and searches for the username Ambersweet, paying for an hour session. Her heart beats as she waits for Ambersweet to appear on the screen. As soon as Amber appears, she compliments Nora's look and admits they indeed look alike. Amber talks seductively and asks what Nora wants her to perform. Nora says she just wants to talk, nothing else. As they talk, Amber begins to talk about all the threatening messages she has been receiving, but she is unfazed by them. Soon, Nora's time runs out, and she is automatically logged out. Camille and Emily meet up at a restaurant and order 2 shots of whiskey. They are both excited to see each other after a long time of not speaking. He asks her if she observed anything new about him, and she says she doesn't. Camille then tells her about his new job at a real estate firm and points out his suit. Emily asks about Camille's girlfriend Stephanie, and he admits that they broke up. He still cares about her, but he's not sad about it. He half-heartedly jokes about being on a sabbatical leave, which Emily finds amusing. Camille admits that he invited Emily to the restaurant because he misses her, and she says she misses him too. During dinner, Emily reveals that she's using a dating app, which makes Camille feel a twinge of jealousy. Despite this, they continue to hang out frequently. At the close of work, Nora and Camille are checking out a real estate building to add to their portfolio. As they get inside, Camille notices the young boy doing some construction work was his student from way back. As they exchange pleasantries, Nora catches herself smiling. Since they began working together, there seems to be a growing physical and intimate attraction between them. She deliberately removes her jacket at the office so she could catch him staring at her and act embarrassed when she catches him. He invites her over for dinner and then to his apartment. As they begin to kiss, he begins to pull her trousers down. She stops him midway and tells him she's scared as she hasn't been intimate with anyone for a very long time. He assures them they can stop if she feels uncomfortable.
Everything's finally right. The dark made peace with the light. I'm gonna love you tonight, like the land meets the dawn. Lay down our demons and rest in this midnight holiness. Something so honest and raw. Would you come be my only one?
She thinks he is a proper gentleman. At Emily's apartment, she practices a melody on her piano at home. She decides to visit her grandma, a trip she has been avoiding for a while. Emily is her grandma's most cherished grandchild. However, as her grandma's dementia worsens, Emily finds it difficult to confront the new version of her grandma. Emily takes a deep breath and drives to the elderly care facility where her grandma is staying. When she enters her grandma's room, she barely greets her. Emily tries to start a conversation, but her grandma doesn't respond. Then she shows her grandma a picture of a carriage hanging on the wall. Her eyes light up for a moment, but the spark disappears quickly. Emily assists her grandma with grooming and a haircut. Suddenly, her grandma looks at Emily and asks who she is. Emily knows that the disease has taken away her grandma's true self. This realization saddens her deeply as she heads back home. Emily is uncertain if she can handle visiting her grandma, so she devises a plan. She posts an advertisement searching for a Chinese female flatmate. A Chinese woman comes to view the house and is pleased with it. She decides to take the room. Emily then proposes the idea of the Chinese woman to visit her grandma every week. She explains that her grandma suffers from memory loss and would be unable to recognize the difference. The new roommate is hesitant about this unusual request but agrees after being offered a reduced rent in exchange for this. Nora sees herself buying more camming time to talk to Ambersweet, whom she has grown to really like. She looks forward to their midnight chit-chat. Today, while conversing with her, Amber asks if Nora is her real name or just an online name. Nora admits she uses her real name on the website, and Amber is surprised and says it's a dumb thing to do to expose your real name and email on an adult site. At the end of the conversation, Amber gives her real email address so they can video call outside the website. She also reveals that her real name is Louise. Camille and Emily are hanging out on the beach, and he tells her about Nora and their intimate life. Emily isn't impressed, and she still loves him, despite him constantly telling her about his activities with other women. He thinks Nora is frigid, and he hopes he can get her to be more comfortable with him. Emily mocks him, saying that's all he hopes to achieve. The friendship between Nora and Louise blossoms as Louise becomes the closest thing Nora has ever had to a best friend. They video call each other every night, and Nora always looks forward to their conversations. She finds Louise very easy to talk to and relate with. Today, they discuss their childhoods. Louise shares that she had uneventful teenage years, while Nora reveals that she was quite athletic until she had an injury that made her stop. Emily also reveals that she has been co-running a real estate firm with her uncle for the past 10 years. Louise is surprised when Nora reveals that she had a 10-year relationship with her uncle by marriage. The morning of the next day, Camille and Nora close a real estate deal with a client who does not speak French. They need a translator and call Emily to assist them. After successfully closing the deal, Camille invites Nora to attend a national education dinner hosted by his friend Antoine. As they arrive, they are greeted by Camille's ex-colleagues who are singing karaoke. However, Nora feels uncomfortable due to her social anxiety. While the guests are singing and dancing, Nora stands by the corner and watches as Camille mingles with other female attendees. She senses that he is almost flirting with them, and this heightens her insecurities. As they walk back home after the party, she confronts Camille about his intimacy with other girls. She directly asks him how many girls he has been intimate with, but Camille refuses to answer. Her suspicion doesn't end there as she further asks if Camille has gotten intimate with Emily. Camille admits to it, which greatly bothers her. The underlying feeling of her unexciting intimate life with Camille continues to weigh on her mind, as she believes he may be tired of their routine and lack of adventure. During a private moment, Nora and Camille are being intimate. Suddenly, Nora surprises Camille by asking him to perform a certain act from behind. However, she changes her mind and requests to be alone. Puzzled by her sudden change of mood, Camille asks Nora about what is bothering her. She confesses that she is aware that he might be tired of their intimate routine. In this scene, Nora and Louise are having a conversation when Nora asks Louise about the most bizarre and degrading request she has ever received from a client. Louise shares a story about a client who had booked a private chat with her. As she was about to start the session, the client requested that she perform intimate acts. Despite finding the request, Louise had to do it as part of her professional obligations. This scene shows Camille cooking at home while video chatting with Emily. Emily shares a picture of the guy she's currently sleeping with from a dating app, but Camille isn't impressed by his looks. During their conversation, Camille expresses his concerns about the changes he's noticed in Nora's behavior towards their relationship. He's noticed that she seems to be disconnecting emotionally and only wants to have intimacy without any emotional connection. This bothers Camille because he doesn't like that she's changing the rules without discussing it with him. Emily asks why this bothers him so much, and Camille explains that he values emotional intimacy in his relationships. Eponine is visiting Camille at his office where he's assisting her with her homework and teaching her some lessons. While going through her notebook, Camille finds an outline of Eponine's ideas for her stand-up comedy, and one of them particularly grabs his attention. He inquires Eponine as to why she's planning to use their father's intimate life as a topic for her comedy act. Eponine explains that their dad has a girlfriend, which surprises Camille since they recently lost their mother. Just then, Nora enters the office and greets them. She complains of being tired and prepares to leave, but Camille invites her to come over to his place later. However, Nora is uncertain whether she can make it. After Nora exits, Eponine inquires whether Camille and Nora are in a relationship. Camille responds that he's uncertain, as he does not know where their relationship stands at the moment. Nora has become aware of an emotional disconnect between herself and Camille. Despite her efforts to be present with him emotionally, their relationship has been plagued by difficulties. As a result, she finds solace in the company of her friend Louise, whose companionship fills the void left by the connection her relationship with Camille lacks. She cannot wait to meet with Louise. Complicating the issue is his close friendship with women he has had encounters with in the past. She feels she can never measure his heightened needs. She feels as though she is just another name on his list of conquests, adding to her growing sense of unease. Nora visits Camille at his apartment, and following a moment of intimacy, she breaks up with him. She seems at peace with her decision. This news doesn't come as a surprise to him, as he has sensed Nora's waning feelings for him. Camille is currently visiting home, and he has successfully negotiated with the buyer to come and collect his mother's wheelchair. While chatting with his sister, who inquires about his girlfriend Nora, he informs her that they have broken up. Eponine asks if he is feeling sad, and he tells her that he isn't because Nora was never able to fill the void in his heart. As Camille attempts to collapse his mother's wheelchair for the buyer, he experiences an emotional breakdown. He feels as though he is giving away a part of his mother, and the thought is too much for him to bear. Emily is deeply asleep when her phone rings. She picks up the phone, and her mom, who is on the other end, informs her of grandmother's demise. This information comes as a huge shock, and she feels overwhelming guilt for not knowing sooner about her grandma's death and not visiting frequently while she was alive. She calls Camille, who is offering a shoulder of comfort to her. He tells her he will be coming with her for the burial. She asks in what capacity it is, as a friend or lover, but he can't respond to that. Emily admits to him that she still harbors feelings for him and makes it clear that he should only join her for the burial if he wants a serious relationship with her. She expresses her weariness of pretending not to care and gives him an ultimatum to part ways if he doesn't share the same feelings. After weeks of virtual conversations, Nora and Louise finally meet each other in person today, choosing a serene park as their venue. As the anticipation builds within Nora, she can hardly contain her excitement at the thought of seeing Louise face to face. Despite feeling a wave of social anxiety as she waits for Louise's arrival, Nora takes a deep breath and manages to calm her nerves. When she finally spots Louise, her heart races with joy. As they embrace, Nora feels a sense of comfort and belonging in Louise's arms that she had never experienced before. It's as if their virtual friendship had transformed into something much deeper, and all she remembers is losing consciousness as she falls into Nora's arms. Camille has been grappling with the pain of losing his mother and the fear of getting hurt in love. But he can't ignore his feelings for Emily. Although they had broken up, no one else has managed to fill the void she left. Summoning up his courage, Camille calls Emily and admits his love for her. He declares his willingness to give his all to their relationship, convinced that she is the one for him. It makes her excited. This is all she has wanted for a long time.